Hello everyone, I'm Raul Lorenzano and I am the Senior Program Manager here at the Pablove Foundation. And I will also be serving as your fellow host for tonight's virtual presentation. With that, I want to give you a big warm welcome to our virtual California Gallery Show. We are so thrilled to have you here to support our students that participated in the Shutterbugs program. On view tonight, you'll see works from our culminating classes in both of our locations, both here in Los Angeles and the works of our students up in the greater San Francisco Bay Area program. So some of our students participated in our in-person class models that we offered at the beginning of last year, and other students participated in our virtual class programming that we had for the very first time at the end of last year. So with the introduction of this virtual programming, we're really excited because it really is opening the doors and possibilities for our students and their families across the country. What that means is that any child or teenager living with cancer can now participate in our program, regardless of where they may be living or receiving treatment, which is something that we're really excited to continue as we move through the rest of this year. So, as we celebrate the works of our students tonight, you'll be able to hear from some of our community members that have made this program possible, including one of our Shutterbug mentors, Michelle Blackwell. You'll also be able to hear from some of our Shutterbug students that are in the show, and you'll also be able to hear from one of our Powered by Pablove Research Grant recipients. And of course, there is the main event where I will be taking you through a tour of our 3D gallery space, which is really cool. So stay tuned for that. At any time during tonight's presentation, feel free to use the chat function located on the right-hand side of your screen. So you can just chat us your thoughts, let us know which one is your favorite print from tonight's show, and just please help us cheer on our Shutterbug students since they've worked so hard to get here. So for those of you that are joining us for the very first time today, welcome to the Pablove Foundation. We'd like to get started by giving you just a little bit of an overview as to who we are and how we got started. And to do that, I am going to introduce our amazing leader and fearless CEO, Kirsten Lynham. Kirsten, take it away.
Thank you, Raul, and a very warm welcome from me to you as well. We are immensely proud to have Los Angeles and the San Francisco Bay Area as 2 of our 7 Shutterbugs program sites. The art produced by these kids is nothing short of breathtaking and captivating. You are in for a total treat. But before we get started, I want to tell you a little bit about our origin story and our mission. It all started in 2008 with this little boy named Pablo. He was diagnosed with Wilms tumor, which is a very rare pediatric cancer. And after 1 year of intense treatment, Pablo unfortunately lost his battle with cancer. That was only 6 days after his 6th birthday. Jeff, his father, then got on his bike and bicycled all the way from Florida to California to increase awareness. And while riding, Pablo's community got together to raise funds, and the Pablove Foundation was born. Riding is part of our DNA, and we continue to enjoy a wonderful community with our Pablove Across America riders. Pablove is dedicated to our unique approach of addressing childhood cancer through art and science. On the science side of our mission, we invest in underfunded, cutting-edge pediatric cancer research. We fund $50,000 powered by Pablove seed grants to uncover impactful pathways toward better pediatric cancer treatments and hope for a cure. To date, we've invested over $3 million in seed grants, which our researchers have leveraged for an additional $10.1 million in extension funding. This is a really incredible result, knowing about the extreme competition in research funding. But today we are embracing and celebrating the other pillar of our mission, where we improve the lives of children living with cancer through the arts. Since 2011, for 10 years now, we have offered the Pablove Shutterbugs program. a healing arts and participatory education program that teaches children and teens living with cancer the fundamentals of photography. So far, we've put cameras into the hands of more than 1,300 children and teens across the country to give these amazing kids respite and something new to learn while they soldier through their own cancer journey. I have had the privilege of looking at the pictures we're about to see before, and like any good art, get ready, they open your minds and hearts. None of this is possible without the dedication of our beautiful Shutterbugs teaching community. And it's now my privilege to introduce you to Michelle Blackwell, one of our wonderful volunteers and LA Shutterbugs mentors. Thank you, Michelle, and please carry on.
Hi, my name is Michelle, and I'm a Pablove Shutterbug photography mentor. I started working with Shutterbug last year, and I came to the program because as a survivor, I learned just how much photography and the creative arts helped in my healing process, and I was eager to give that back. The experience of working with the students in the Pablove Shutterbug program was absolutely amazing. I kind of fear that I got more than I gave, because watching the students explore photography and learn and become creative and find their expression and find their voice was just such a rewarding and wonderful experience. And I can't wait for the opportunity to work with them again once we are back to life as it was before. Shutterbugs, we applaud your creativity. Tonight, you're going to see the culminating work of our students from the Los Angeles and the San Francisco Bay areas. Through the Shutterbugs course, our students have learned to master the core concepts of photography, including lighting, composition, shadow, and of course, storytelling. These photos on display represent their mastery of not just the core concepts of the course, but also the culmination of their self-expression. We hope you enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our 2021 California Gallery Show. Don't be shy, come on in. In this portion of tonight's presentation, we will be looking at all of our students' images that have been curated for you in this virtual gallery experience. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Hi, I'm Madison and Max. I am 10 years old, and I am from Torrance, California. I was diagnosed with Wilms tumor when I was 6 years old. Wilms tumor is a tumor that can grow on your kidney. Wilms tumor grew on my right kidney, which the doctors could not save my right kidney because the tumor was the size of a grapefruit. A Wilms tumor is a big deal and it's very rare, and I was lucky enough to survive the Wilms tumor. I thought to myself, it was so weird how one day I was active and so full of doing gymnastics, doing cartwheels, and then the next day I was taking a bath and my mom felt this bump on my right side. The next day we went to the doctors. The doctor said it was all right, but we wanted to make sure, so we went to another doctor, and they said that you should go to another doctor to make sure everything's good. We went to Children's Miller Hospital, and they diagnosed me with Wilms tumor. I remember going to the second hospital feeling very much in pain. I didn't really want to get up, I just kind of wanted to sit down. And I didn't really like to eat a lot, and that could really affect your stomach because you're not getting a lot of protein and a lot of food. And before I got Pablove, I just didn't really want to do anything. And I lost all my hair before that, and a lot of things happened to me. I couldn't see any of my friends either. I had to wear a mask whenever I went out. My port that I had to transfer cold water to make sure everything was flushing through, I had to take it off, and it was kind of like a sticker, and it hurt very much when I took it off because it was very sticky. And how I got interested in Pablove was through a sign that said join Pablove, and I saw the sign and I asked my parents, can I please join Pablove? They said yes, and they put me in there, and I'm so fortunate to be able to join in Pablove. It's such a wonderful program, and I'm so lucky that I could experience it. The instructor that I had was Bruce Fisher. He was an amazing instructor. He taught me many things. He was very funny too, and he made learning very fun. And I hope that I can get him again, or someone else can get him and enjoy him. Thank you for listening to my story.
Hi, my name is Max Valdez. I'm from Los Angeles, California. I was diagnosed with all, which is a type of leukemia, on April 4th, 2015. I was 2 at the time. I found out about Pablove Shutterbugs on my visit to Kaiser in LA through my child life specialist, Miss Corolla, in September 2020. My experience with the Shutterbugs program was awesome. I learned how to take pictures of little pictures and use the features on the camera. One of my favorite moments in the Shutterbug program is when my photography teacher, Miss Sarah, taught us how to draw with lights with our camera. What I took away from the Shutterbug program is different types of pictures like one's eye view, bird's eye view, reflection, and self-portrait. My experience with the Pablove Shutterbugs program impacted me to take different types of pictures of the world and seeing the world in a different way. Thank you to Pablove and everyone watching. This is Max signing off.
Dr. Gell. I'm a pediatric oncologist and I work here at UCLA Mattel Children's Hospital. And today we're here in the Clark Lab to talk about my research that I do on germ cell tumorigenesis. Most of my time is spent here in the research lab doing stem cell research. One thing that I like to focus on, as most of us do in the pediatric oncology world, is how can we minimize side effects from your treatments, especially if you have sort of a higher stage cancer, then you'll get more therapy, which could lead to more long-term outcomes. So I'm looking at potentially how can we do some added-in targeted therapy to minimize the amount of chemotherapy that we give to try to prevent long-term side effects. This is the tissue culture area. These guys are kind of ready to be split into another plate, so they're kind of dense together, but these sort of round colonies are stem cell colonies. a lot of the UCLA labs, we sort of have this open lab forum so that we can sort of share ideas and collaborate with other people. I think because, we all have a special place in our heart for kids and kids with diseases, especially like cancers, but it actually, in the grand scheme of things, when you look at like what the government funds for pediatric research and then pediatric cancer research, is a very small proportion of it. So foundations like Pablove really help us get funds in to get our projects up and rolling. My hope is to continue this research and use stem cells both for germ cells and potentially other types of cancers to really build these models for us to find better therapies using these screening platforms so that we can cure more kids, as well as the kids that we do cure go on to have a happy, healthy life without lots of side effects. We are greatly appreciative of the funding that comes from the Shutterbug program. They make wonderful prints. I've gone to some of the galleries around town, purchased some of the photos, and I'm excited to be having this representative of their great work that they do with photography and giving back to the community. It's really a courageous thing, as they've gone through a big hurdle themselves. Then to go back and give back to cancer research is amazing.
Hello everyone, and welcome back. I hope that you have been enjoying yourselves thus far in tonight's virtual presentation. We are just nearing the end of tonight's program, so thank you so much for hanging in there with us. Before we continue, I do have a few things I'd like to say. First and foremost, nothing great happens in isolation, and that is so true for our very own Pablove Shutterbugs program. So with that, I'd like to thank our wonderful Shutterbugs community partners and sponsors that you see here on the screen. A special shout out to the Huntington Library, Art Museum, and Botanical Gardens for hosting our physical classes here in Los Angeles last year, and for continuing to provide our Shutterbugs and their families with resources that they can use in their own image making. So thank you so much, Huntington. This event is also made possible in part by the funding from the Livestrong Foundation, as well as the other partners and sponsors that you see here on the screen. So thank you so much for making this show a reality for our Shutterbugs and their families. All right, Shutterbugs, this next part is for you, so I hope you're paying attention. Just want to let you know that we want you to continue learning and growing with us, so you can always find out what classes are available, such as the ones that are coming up in spring, by visiting pablove.org/apply. And also stay tuned, as we will be releasing more information in regards to our summer program that's coming up in July. So more info to come on that. All right, so as we had mentioned before, all of the prints in tonight's show are available for sale. 100% of the proceeds from these print sales go on to benefit our Powered by Pablove Childhood Cancer Research Grants program that fund brilliant researchers like the one that you heard from tonight. So if you look down below your video right now, you'll be able to purchase prints that you would like. We sell them in two different versions. So they come unframed that look very similar to this guy here, which is an archival pigment print that's printed on museum grade quality paper. So this gets shipped to you. This is unframed, and they're available in two different sizes. There's an 8x10 that's available for $40, and an 11x14 inch that's available for $85. So if that's an option you'd like, you can go with those. We also sell them as glass prints, and they come in approximately the exact same sizes. The only difference is the pricing. 8x10 in a glass print format that looks like something like this that's on the screen right now is available for $90, and the 11x14 is available for $160. So you can refer to the thumbnail sheet to remind you of the photos, or simply just follow the link in the chat section. All right, so that is everything that we have for you tonight. Time is so precious, and we are so honored that you shared it with our students and their work tonight. Please remember that you can always revisit the gallery by clicking the link you used to participate today anytime, and we hope that you will celebrate our students' work and pay it forward for a cure by buying one of their images. We look forward to seeing you again, and we hope that you have a great rest of your night. All right, for all of us here at Pablove, thank you so much. Take care.